All right, so I am here again with the man himself, Mr. Phil Jackson, and in the background, we are, just hearing a tune that I just think is terrific. It's Time to Pretend from your album Moving, and let me give you a bit of background information on how I sort of got listening to this. I read, and we've spoken about Drew's sort of little review that he gave you, and he said his favorite song was That's What I'm Talking About. So I had gone to your album page and started with that song, and I was pottering about, my place, and then that was followed by another one and another one. And then this tune just came through the speakers, which, as a music lover, I can only say had bits of Petty Harrison, quite distinctive Harrison slide at times, harmony, I love, I grew up listening to a lot of the Eagles and stuff, so I love my harmonies. And it was a song that you actually sang with the Rutles. So how did that all come about, including singing with the legendary man himself, Neil Innes, the late great Neil Innes?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been the Rutles keyboardist for a few years, and we did a tour, and this is 2 years ago now, I wrote it. We did a tour around the UK in 2018, and it was the 40th anniversary of the Rutles starting the film they made. So that was a really cool tour. And by that time, I'd got to start writing in a stream of consciousness way, which basically means, you just write anywhere, anyhow, and you don't know what's going to come out, and you're reacting to the places that are around you. So that's an ideal thing. If you're on a tour, you're in a different place every day, so you don't know what you're going to encounter and what you're going to feel in that. But I remember writing it vividly, and it obviously has a really, really good memory for me, because I'm writing it in the presence of the great man Neil Innes, who's one of the great songwriters in history. He's just amazing, especially to me. And I remember writing. I was in Cambridge at a place called the Junction, which is a very nice venue. And when you go to a venue every day, you get there about 3 o'clock, and everyone loads in, and then it takes a couple of hours at least for the stage people to set everything up, and so you go out and you do stuff. You hang out, you look, you go to places. But in Cambridge, it's quite a walk to go to the town or anything like that. So I got my guitar like I do, and I sat in the car park, and I'm just playing these. Just playing through these chords, and came up with this phrase, which is the chorus. So I came up with the chorus first, and while I'm doing that, Neil comes out for a little break himself, and he sits there, and I'm playing, and I'm going, what do you think? And he's like going, oh yeah, I like it, it's good, and that's all you need. You just
that ultimate endorsement, isn't it? I mean,
well, yeah. And so, and obviously there's other comments, like he's listening to the words that I'm putting to it, and he says there's a line in it where it says, "I'll love you more than the person before," and he says, "Oh, that's not very romantic, is it?" And and I'm like, well, you see, it's not, it's quite a specific song. It's not a love song as such. It is, but it isn't. My songs are very personal. And things come out of me, and I'm not just making a song just for everybody going, hey, here's a bit of a love song. And he knew that, but you've got to as a listener, there's a mystery to songs, and you don't want to completely burst that bubble, and people don't really want to know what the song's really about deep down. They listen to it, it's a time and a place, they hear it, and they relate it to them, and they like it for the reasons they like it.
Absolutely.
So talking about this song, I hope I don't completely dispel people's wanting to listen to it. But
no, I don't think there's any chance of that. So how, I can imagine in your gig and your industry, and with your sort of inner circle of trusted advisors, you're always throwing things back and forth to say, hey, what do you think of this? And how does this sound? But so how do you go from doing that to actually getting the Rutles to play with you on that song? Because I would imagine that that doesn't happen a whole lot either, where, you know,
Well,
somebody...
I think I'm the first person who's done that. So that was a good, fun shot in there. But the other thing was because I was writing, you know, quickly in different places, and that's how I do it. I normally have, I've got a little handheld recorder. It's about that big. And it's like a little 8-track, like a little multi-track recorder. And I would take that with me, and I'd make a demo of the idea of the song, as, you know, in the moment, you know, that day, as I come up with the idea. And I'd play stuff to the guys from that recorder and go, hey, I've got this thing I've done, da, 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 da. And, you know, and everybody in the band were all songwriters as well. So they're like, oh, cool, yeah, you know, whatever. And, you know, and they're such fun, lovely guys. And being in a band is like that. You know, you rebound off each other, and you go, oh, what have you got? Oh, I've got this, I've got that. And, you know, so it was like, hey, do you want to play on it? And everyone's going, yeah, cool, whatever. So it's quite,
it was okay.
Sure, yeah. Well, you know, we're mates. We're in a band, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll play on your song, okay. And I mean, someone like Neil, you know, he's just the most chilled out guy. And you've got John, the drummer. He's a legendary drummer as well, and John's just, he's like a dude in a pub. You know, he's run pubs all his life, so he's a guy in a pub having a laugh and going, oh, let's play a song, and you know, and they're just ready to have fun all the time. So so straight away they were like, oh yeah, we're playing it. But it, you know, practically it wasn't easy to get it done because, you know, we're on a tour, you're actually quite busy, and you've got to arrange a moment where you can sit quietly and record something, have an hour when you're just concentrating on recording something. And it wasn't the easiest thing to get everybody to do that. So it did take a while. But there you go. So.
And so when you look back, and I know how proud you are of all your songs, because there tends to be certain things going on in your life and in your sort of, you know, just environment that inspires much of this. But I mean, when you look back at something like Time to Pretend, what's your feeling? Because I saw a really lovely write-up that you put on your Facebook page when it was first put out, and one of the things you said was, look, you know, I wish my folks could have seen this, you know.
Yeah,
because there must be,
you know, I guess it is that peak and that combining of everything suddenly, you know, and I don't know, I keep talking about the word time and time passing and time coming together and timing and all that sort of stuff. And you've got, you know, a hero of mine, the Rutles, and I'm playing in the Rutles. You know, I knew them as a kid, and you don't dream of as a kid, oh, I'm going to play in the Rutles, because that doesn't make sense. You know, they're an imaginary band.
Yeah.
You know, they sort of don't really exist. So it's not something you even think about. But then you find yourself doing it, and you go, oh, I wrote this song, they like it, and they're playing on it, and it's like, wow, I've sort of done something that's really. I felt like I existed suddenly. You know, on the planet, it was like, oh, I think I've done something.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas, you know, we spend every day just going, oh, it's just another day. You know, and you just. But for the first time, I've had a feeling that I've sort of done something. I think, which was great.
And that's tremendous. And of course, you know, as we conclude this chit chat, and we're going to be speaking more, of course, in future about some of the things, we you know, we'll play some more of it, of course, and just sort of, and if people want to get hold of this, not only this, but the album itself in its entirety, where do they go, Phil?
At the moment, you go to my Bandcamp, which is, I think, philjackson.bandcamp.com. And you can find the whole album there. You can find all my other albums as well, obviously. But it's in a lovely, I've got it here. It's in a lovely CD as well. Signed CD by me. I made this with my very smooth hands, and did some photos from Wales. And yeah, you can get it as a download and see some videos, whatever you like.
Okay, so that's terrific. I'll make sure that we've also got some links to that as well. But as always, thanks for taking the time to chat about this and Time to Pretend. You know, it's one of several songs that I really, really love from this album. The album is Moving, which I'm delighted to say that you're sort of kind of re-releasing. And we're going to talk more about some of the other tunes. And I'm guessing that, you know, even though your folks weren't around for when it came out, they may be having a chat or two to Neil about the whole music behind
Yeah.
it, you know, as we speak, Phil. So congrats.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I like to say one more thing about the song. You know, the chorus is the chorus, and that comes back. But all the verses I've sort of wrote in different places, so you can hear, you know, try and listen to it and think where's that from, or you know, what's that about, you know. So I wrote it in different sort of gigs.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Terrific. Thank you as always, pal.
Thank you.
And look forward to speaking to you again. Ladies and gents, folks, this is Phil Jackson. His album is Moving, and as we sort of just go out of this video, we're going to have you listen to a little bit more of that song. So feel free to bop along yourself, Phil, you know, okay?
Love it.